Dolly fans, I'm Reika, and this is part 1 of my LeekeWorld N-Type body review. Part 1 covers posing ability and functionality, part 2 covers aesthetics. It's a photo gallery with text commentary. If you'd like to check that out, the link's in my description. Our model here is Reika. Her official height is 44 centimeters, which is MSD size. So this company has a lot of experience with creating doll bodies. This body is very similar to the H-type body, which they released previously, so the way I look at it, they kind of had a chance to work out the kinks. We're going to start with her head cap. I was not too happy to see this inside. This mess. These knots are so huge that I can't even take her head off. So I had to put her eyes on with her head still on. So with her facing me, I had to blindly pull the S-hook down and kind of fish my way through the strings. I don't ever want to do that again. I'm definitely going to have to restring her because I have to be able to take off her head. This is held on by magnets and these pieces. It's a little tricky to get it back on over the strings. Okay. Her neck, side to side. Lean it back and tilt it forward. So these shoulder joints, there's really not a lot of friction, so I'm probably going to have to suede this area. But, you know, she has just as much range as any other doll. Her elbows are double jointed. This piece in here kind of swims around on its own. I have a little trouble with it. But, so it bends that far initially. And that's as far as I can get it to bend. You might not be able to see it, but when her arms are bent, you can see the left and right markers. Her wrists are pretty standard, so they work pretty well. She has an underbust joint, so she can tilt it forward, although it just looks awkward. She can lean it back, and of course the string is popping out. Her string is just terrible, guys. I really need to fix that. And side to side. Oh my god. That will not be an issue when she's restrung, I promise. Now let's get to these crazy hip joints, which I'm sure is the first thing you saw. So when I first saw these, I was a little concerned. They remind me of another doll that I reviewed, and her hip joints popped out and were just all over the place. They're really not an issue. They stay in place. In fact, I can show you this. She stands very well, so they're not an issue there. They can't turn in the sockets at all. She can't do a split. So the only thing they're good for is to allow her to sit. She sits up nice and straight. But look how weird that looks. They really could have designed that better. This is really unnecessary. She has femoral joints. All they do is allow her to turn her leg. Actually, let me do this. Okay. You can't pull them out and like prop them up. I can show you in here. She has these rough cut channels in there, which that nub fits into. So that, you know, helps keep it in place, but allows her to move it. Her knees are single jointed. I don't like how this sticks out here, and I'll show you why. So you can bend it about that far before this happens. So once it reaches that peak, it just pulls it all the way. So not a very good design there. She can't turn her lower leg either. So this whole section is really immobile. Her ankles, this is another weird area, and I'll show you why. This is how far she can bend it back, and this is how far she can bend it forward, not much at all. But if you look at the way this part is cut, the sides are cut more. Like there's more of an indent there, so she can move them side to side. but not forward and back. She's very squeaky. So that's a really weird design to me. I've never seen another doll like that. So I was expecting a lot more from this body, considering just how many bodies LeekeWorld has made. So I'm a little disappointed in some of the areas. Even little things like the floaty joint here, I feel like they could have fixed that. The hip joints don't really bother me, I just wish there was a little more mobility here. And the knees, ankles. So that's it for part 1. If you'd like to check out part 2, links in my description. Thank you for watching.